What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you another video. Today we gonna talk about Jabari Parker and the Milwaukee Bucks. He could not reach a extension with the Bucks earlier this year. It's gonna send him into restricted free agency. He's still young. He's still has a lot of potential. He's only 22 this year. Next year he'll turn 23 in the next couple months. His career high was 20 points a game. He played over half the season, which was 50. He shot 49 from the field, 36 from three with 3 attempts. Significantly decent from the free throw line, 74, 6.2 rebounds, 2.8 assists. And he did that with Giannis and Chris Middleton was gone, so he was able to score more points. But they're going to need a guy like this that can handle the ball, score. He can play the four, he can play the three. He's quick, he's athletic, he can get rebounds, he can stretch out the floor. He can open it up for Bledsoe, and he can open it up for Giannis. And it gives them another creator and ball handler. 2.8 assists. He moves the ball. He can score in the post. He can score in the high post. He can take you and bang. He can get to the rim. He can dunk. He can shoot the mid range. He can shoot up. He can shoot the spot up three. He's still quick. He still has explosiveness. Some argue that he was even more explosive than he was before when he got in the league. After he tore his ACL, he looked a little bit better, a little bit quicker, a little bit more athletic. Maybe because he was working on his vertical. Maybe he was more in shape. Maybe he was more prepared. Whatever the reason was, people are coming back from these ACL surgeries quicker, faster. Some are not even, like Adrian Peterson. It seemed like, he was a whole new person after that ACL tear. And some have came back playing the same way. Like Rondo, he hasn't really changed his game as much. But Jabari is a player that has a huge amount of potential. I can see a lot of young teams. If you're willing to trade for Jahlil Okafor, you're willing to sign Jabari. He's the same age, and honestly, he averaged more points, and they still was able to make the playoffs with him a couple years ago. But he just hasn't been able to stay healthy, which hurts his case of getting a lot of money. It's hard to give somebody a lot of money when they can't stay on the floor. But you gotta look at who they trading for. They're trying to get DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan get paid $20 million a year. I always feel like the Bucks needed somebody that can protect the rim, somebody that can rotate, somebody that can crash the boards. But DeAndre doesn't really add anything offensively. He's like a better version of John Henson. He's going to be athletic. He's going to stay around the rim. He's going to get the putbacks, the hustles. He's going to dunk. But he's not going to be able to shoot. He's not going to be able to space the floor out. He's going to clog it a little bit for Bledsoe and Giannis because he has to stay around the paint to impact the game, which is by rebounding and dunking. It will give them a dive person that if you don't guard, it'll give room for Giannis to attack the other side. And if they do decide to guard Giannis and stop his spin moves and his footwork, he can always lob it up to DeAndre because he's more athletic and he can jump higher than any other center. Worst case scenario, you kick it out for a three. Honestly, that's a powerful team right there, but you have to get rid of a person that is more dynamic, which is Jabari, just to get him, and he's significantly younger, but it's more of a win more. We have opportunity to win a championship. We have one of the best players in the league. Let's show him that we're trying to win. Let's show him that we're trying to make any move possible to get this team to a championship contender to contend with Cleveland and Golden State. So if you trade Barry, a player you don't really know what you're going to get right now, but you can base off what you've done seen in the past, or you can get a guy that's been a double-double his whole career and an all-star and all-NBA third team. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of DeAndre. I don't really think he's that great defensively as people say. Some people don't even say it anymore. That was years ago. I don't really think that he can be your second or third best player on the championship team because he just don't impact and do enough. But I do think when you have Jabari, it allow you to beat up switches because he can post, he can shoot over smaller defender, he can post up smaller defender, he can bang, overpower them, dunk on them. And it allows you to keep Middleton in the game too, who's another shooter that can spread the floor and either come off a screen, make people work, and you still have to guard him, and he can still shoot the spot up three or just a three in general. And then you will still have to worry about Bledsoe and Giannis and Bari that can make plays for other people while still being able to score the basketball at a highly efficient level. Eric Bledsoe is not as efficient as Giannis and Bari, but Bari will be good in that offense, especially since Giannis is showing that he can hit the little fadeaway post up jumper. It shows that he don't have to always get all the way straight to the paint. He still can't shoot as much as we want him to. He's still developing that skill. Honestly, he's still really not a great 3-point shooter. He shoots them every blue moon, every couple games, and he's still not making them at the highest percentage. But if you trade for DeAndre, that means you're just pushing in. Hey, we got Bledsoe, we got DeAndre. We're going in for it. Another flaw about the trade will be that DeAndre is going to be a free agent. So even if he doesn't really like playing for the Bucks, he can always leave. That means you gave up Jabari, and you can have a chance to keep Jabari because he will be a restricted free agent, which means literally he can't leave unless you don't agree to the terms. But Jabari might be asking for a lot of money, especially if he comes back and play well. And if he doesn't, you can probably get him at a solid contract. But they couldn't even agree to a deal in that. In general, you already paid Giannis $100 million. You already paid Chris Middleton $80 million. You already paying Eric Bledsoe $14 to $17 million. And then you have Bari or DeAndre taking up the rest of that salary, and then you already paid obviously John Henson and players like that. So in Delhi, so you have a lot of money committed, but you're not really able to contend with Golden State, with the Rockets, with Cleveland, with Boston. Um, it's kind of like, what can we do? Do we want to make that move to see if we can get to that next level, or should we wait and continue to try to add the right pieces with Giannis and rush into a contender, or should we just be patient? Continue to find better trades, continue to see the development of Bari, of the people we have signed, and see if we can get there through development and adding some pieces here and there when they come available, like Eric Bledsoe, who's still young, but he's older than Giannis. But I like what they're doing with Milwaukee. We went from a team that had no future. We went from a team that was just a mediocre team. We did good enough to either be a lottery team or good enough to be basically a 7 or 8 seed that continually get put out. The Bucks has already always been mediocre since we traded Kareem in that last run in the 80s. Ever since then, we just been good enough to get to the first round, and after that, we'll lose every year. And if we didn't do that, we would be in the lottery. And that counts for bad luck, and that also shows that it's hard to get people to come to Milwaukee and want to stay and play. We lost Ray Allen. Michael Ray got injured. Andrew Bogut kept getting injured, and we just couldn't keep nobody to stay in Milwaukee. Giannis helps that case because they have been able to make the playoffs the last couple years. Even though they missed 1 year, they've been able to make the playoffs a couple years with Giannis, and it looks like we're going to make it this year. But he is a guy that make you say, hey, if I can play with that guy, we have a chance to win a championship. If I play with that guy, he can lead us to a championship. He's a star. He's a superstar, and he's dedicated and motivated to win. But the Bucks are showing that they're in that mode where they're ready to contend, and they think they have a guy that can change the game and lead them to a championship. We haven't had that dynamic superstar since Cindy Moncrief and like Oscar Robertson and Kareem, but Oscar was a lot older, and Kareem was older at that time when we won a championship because he did 4 years of college plus a couple years in the NBA. Giannis is only 23 years old, and he's destroying the league. But it's better to go for it now, and you never know what injuries happen. You never know when trades happen. You never know when people get unhappy. So if you can go in there and try to get a championship, that's always the best part for the fans and for the organization. You sell more tickets, people more excited, but you also have a lower ceiling depending on how old the player is and how many years he has on his contract. Like I said, worst case scenario, they trade for DeAndre and he leaves, or they trade for DeAndre to get out of the first round. It's the best case scenario, but they still lose to Cleveland, Boston, or Toronto, or Washington, which will be bad for us because we did good enough to get out of the first round, but we didn't do good enough to win a championship, which give you the counter argument. Is it even worth trading for DeAndre and these other players? when honestly it might not put us over the top to be a championship contender, even in the whole NBA, not just the Eastern Conference, because you still have to beat the team that come out the West. But this team is beautifully built. This team seems like they can be a future dynasty if the right pieces come and the right talent stays and the right talent is traded for. And they got a superstar, something that we couldn't say until this year. And this goes since basically Ray Allen, probably, but he didn't have enough talent to lead us to a championship either. Um, Let me know what you guys think. Check out my website, NoxusPlayground.com. Link will be in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page at NoxusPlayground.com. Link will be in the description, comment section below. Click the link. It's sent to my website, and it's sent to my Facebook page. It'll be on Facebook. Check out my YouTube. It will be pinned on my Facebook page. And check out my website. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, it'll send you to YouTube, and you can subscribe. Also, check out my website, NoxusPlayground.com. Link will be in my description on my Twitter, and it also will be the background of my header. Thanks for the support. Continue to like the Facebook page. Continue to watch my videos, and if you're new, join the family. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis signing out. Let me know what you guys think about the Milwaukee Bucks, what they should do, Giannis and Jabari, or should they go all in with DeAndre?